Hello, everybody. Welcome to the beginning of something new. This is an auditory space I'm creating that you can come into and enjoy. My name is Luke Donovan, and I describe this experience as Donovanesque. Okay, right now I am cat sitting an old cat that needs lots of medications and special attention. Here is the sound of this cat purring. A friend of mine described his sound as both grumpy and blissful. Right now we're fully into spring. Today was a beautiful summery day. I spent some time with this cat on the balcony of the place we're staying, drinking a coffee and basking in the sun. The audio you're hearing right now is from a week later. I'm done my cat sitting adventure, and I'm sitting on the porch with my mother in silence. This time of year, the birds in the backyard are quite loud and excited, and my mother likes to come out here to sit with her eyes closed and listen to them. She's lying back in her Muskoka chair, enjoying the sounds of the wind and the birds. Her shirt says, "Let the sun guide you." My phone buzzes. She leans back and closes her eyes. It is a Saturday. She is an elementary school teacher. She often seeks moments of silence away from her stressful lifestyle. A sound of a man yelling in the distance perplexes her. She turns to her side and tucks her knee in. She suddenly looks more forlorn. She closes her eyes and then opens them, looking to the trees for the birds. She brings both legs up towards her now. It is May. She is 53 years old. A dog starts barking in the distance, and she makes a calm, frowning face. She coughs. There is some ounce of uneasiness I see in her. She comes to this porch for solitude and restfulness, but the sounds out here aren't an unfiltered nature, but a mostly peaceful slice of one of the largest metropolises in North America. So when yelling or music or horns or dogs leak in, I feel I can see on her face some sort of breaking of immersion. I wonder if when she closes her eyes, she imagines a different place, more simple. She talks about a cabin in the woods. She dreams of silence. I wonder if she finally got there, if she would be truly happy, or if something else would creep up as well and break her peace.
I was taking field recordings of the birds just now.
Later on, we had to go inside because of a sudden squall. It was a powerful downpour, but once it calmed down a bit, we cracked open the screen door to let the sounds of the rain in. It's fascinating to hear how the backyard transforms its entire orchestra of sounds within just a half hour. I like to think about how the animals are reacting to the rain. The bird chirps are less frequent but more intense. I think about how, for insects, the surface tension of a water drop turns it into a prison, and a rainfall is a cataclysmic, overwhelming event. I almost would love to experience what that's like once. Obviously not a part of my daily life, but You know, to be a little bug under a leaf, just watching it all play out would be quite thrilling, I think. I also think about music and how certain tones to us sound watery or aquatic or remind us of rain. I was playing around with a preset on my synth that reminded me of rain and water, and I'll share that with you now. I don't really play the synth, but I like to change the settings around and see how it makes me feel to just noodle a bit. Another preset is called Synth Read One, and for some reason this one reminds me of the morning time. So to accompany that, I'll share with you an audio recording I took almost a year ago of some morning birds outside my window just before dawn. I have a lot of feelings about mornings. I'd say I'm a morning person, although sometimes it's excruciating to get out of bed, but when I do it, I feel quite great. But in a moment like this where I'm just hearing the birds at the window and it's dark and the day hasn't started yet, I can either feel just so much joy and like anticipation and serenity, or I can like feel this deep kind of gnawing thing, like what is happening? Like everything's gonna be so big and loud and crazy today, and why? Like what am I up to? Oh God! Sunrise time. Sunrise time. Now that the sun has risen, I'd like to prepare you for maybe a bit more of an abrasive sound, which is from my morning commute yesterday, just since we've been in a bit of a calm moment. I'll say I'm a very noise-sensitive person. I carry earplugs with me at all times. I own noise-canceling headphones. It is often hard for me to deal with extreme noise sensorily ever since I was young. Between the somewhat dystopian noises of the TTC taking our safety very seriously and often the very loud and unexpected people that we find and the loud noises of trains arriving, the subway really checks my mood at the door. I need to really kind of self-regulate if I'm in a stressful place due to all the noise. On this particular morning, I had the pleasure of being joined in the car with a particularly rowdy group of high schoolers, all kind of talking at the same time, which I honestly find quite interesting as like a people watcher and social, because like I'm not in any friend groups where everyone talks at the same time, but it's like they're constantly like fighting for the stage, and it's like a brutal, like you have to just be pumping out decibels to like get a single word in. It's like a sport almost. It's kind of fun to watch, and I was able to enjoy it on this particular morning. Many people on the car were not able to enjoy it. I saw one man, he put his head into his hands, and I do think when people are really loud and taking up space like this, they feel more real in the space because there's just so much attention directed towards them. It's like they just exist more, and it's like this like black hole of attention. Everyone's mood is dictated by them. Everyone's nervous system is pointed in their direction. And I don't know. When I was younger, I wasn't in a group quite like this, but I just think I was very unaware of how this, affected the world in a spatial way. And I'm not sure if they know or they care, but it is quite an interesting facet of relationships and how we exist in the world. But allow me to transition you into a very different crowd environment, which is people standing around before a indie show at the Rivoli on Queen West in Toronto. I love a good crossfade. A lot more calm, but also a lot more isolated moments of joy. I saw two friends reunite, and one of them jumped up into the other's arms and wrapped his legs around him in just the most glorious hug I've seen in a while.
Is it just like the ambience, is the ambience around you when you're talking in the moment, or will you have like, I don't know, like overdubbed ambience from other moments?
Overdubbed, usually.
Usually, okay. I feel like it might be interesting to have it like you record your podcast just while you're out in the street and there's the sound of walking past things.
I think I'll do something. Maybe I'll do this part just like that.
Uh-huh.
So this is both of us right now. Where are we?
We're at the Rivoli.
What are we here to see?
We're here to see burrs, like those little things that stick to you. We're seeing burrs, we're seeing Meteor Heist. That's a Rosedale band, right?
I know them from Rosedale, yes.
And we're seeing Penknife, which I've never heard of before.
So something familiar, something old, and something new.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Two of the bands I was familiar with going in, but one of them, called Penknife, I had not heard of. And I really had a strong emotional response to one of the folk standards they played. I took this recording of it where you can also hear the movement of people in the audience as the song plays, which I find quite nice and adds a bit of atmosphere to the song ringing throughout the Rivoli's back room.
Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Close your eyes, I'll be here all morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Lay your head back, easy love. Close your crying eyes. I'll be laying here beside you when the sun comes on the rise. I'll stay as long as the cuckoo wails and the lonesome blue jay cries. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while.
Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. The big rain came last week, series of rainy days. I like how when everything is just wet, it kind of recontextualizes a lot of sounds. There's always something satisfying in the sound of a car passing, but when there's water on the ground, there's an extra spice to it, like a shoo. I went walking with a close friend of mine in the Humber River. It was wet and muddy and reminded me of a lot of nights that we'd spent there several years ago. The cars were a more dramatic example, but even my footprints on this walk had a nice squelch to them. We were taking photos for an album cover for them, and I was also wanting to gather some sounds from the river. There was a small waterfall, and I noticed that when I recorded the river and the waterfall from a distance, you could hear the nice high end and specific little sounds of the river. But as I got closer to the falling water, it became more of a blanket, white noise. It was the overwhelming torrent taking over into a single sound. Then I started to think about the way I was holding the recorder and how I could point it away and back towards the water and kind of create the sound of waves through my movement of the microphone. Later, I brought the mic close to my body and started humming. I couldn't tell you why I did that, but listening back, it did capture a lot of how I was feeling on that night. Thank you for listening to my first episode of this show. If you have any thoughts, feedback, or questions, feel free to send it to donovanesquepod. That's one word, donovanesquepod@gmail.com. I'll read everything you send and might even discuss it on the show if you're all right with that. Special thanks to Penknife for giving me permission to play their cover of I'll Be Here in the Morning. And I'll see you in the next one. I'll leave you now with the sound of some of my mother's chimes and her descriptions of them.
So that's a good one for when you're thinking of someone or you want to send out some heart vibrations. And this one is for connecting with, you know, the universe and above. I'll tell you more when my voice comes back.
What happened to your voice?
I'm just coming down with something. I'm not sure if it's Dad's cold, which he's had for 3 weeks. But why would it take me 3 weeks to pick that up? I think it's something else, because Grace has something too. It just keeps causing me to lose my voice, like intermittently. And then I have honey tea and it comes back and then I lose it again. So I'll be reading and puzzling this weekend. I don't feel that bad other than like tired and some body aches. But otherwise I'm fine.
That's good.
Go Edmonton.